Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where we are going to do a full face of makeup that should have been viral. Makeup that is so underrated that might have slipped under the radar a little bit for virality. Sometimes I get confused about what products become viral and which ones do not, so I'm just going to show you which things I think are totally underrated, some old things, some new things, just doing a full face, hopefully ending up with something pretty. And if you haven't been here before, do consider subscribing because I do upload quite a lot of videos every week and I'd love to see you in my next one as well. This video is in collaboration with Chic Geek. I am super excited to be doing a video with her. I am a newfound subscriber at her channel. I just recently found her. She actually messaged me over at Instagram and asked me if I wanted to do this full face of underrated makeup, and I said, oh, I'd love to do like something that is, you know, makeup that should have been viral. And we planned this actually quite some time ago. I'm usually a little bit of a busy bee, so I'm super grateful that she was able to be so flexible about the time frame. I usually feel like it's so fun when people reach out and they have a really good idea of something that I would like to do, as long as I have time for it, because I don't always have time. But she does a lot of panning content, and I think she's on a low buy or a no buy, just watching a few of her videos as of late. So really check her out if you want to have someone that's just, you know, enjoying what they have. So I would definitely link her down below. Don't forget to check her out. And I'm super intrigued to see what she thinks in her collection is like products that should have been viral, underrated makeup. And I'm gonna zoom us in and I'm just gonna start at the bottom and work my way to eyeshadow. I have something that recently came back in stock that I really love for eyeshadow, and I cannot wait to do another look with it. And of course I will link everything down in the description box. If you're wondering about anything that I'm wearing, where you can find it, what shade I'm wearing, what did she really say, because sometimes I'll be mumbling over here, check the description box for more info. And of course I'm going to be linking to Chic Geek over there as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is foundation that I wore on my wedding. I have been loving this foundation for years and years and years, and I'm so surprised that the Giorgio Armani Neon Nude did not become more famous and viral than it is, because this is a wonderful foundation that is, I scrubbed my face yesterday. Do I feel like this could be a good shade match for me? Because to match I think this is gonna work out. I love this foundation. It is a medium coverage, natural finish foundation that lasts and lasts and lasts. Like I said, I wore this on my wedding day. It just looks like your skin, but in the best condition ever. And I really like this foundation, and I love how it wears and I love how it looks. I mean, you can tell it still looks like my skin. You can still see some things through, so this is not a full coverage foundation. And I'm so surprised that this one did not become more hype, because it is so wonderful. It comes in quite a few different shades, and it is available at Sephora if I'm not totally mistaken. But yeah, this is definitely a foundation that has, I have two different shades, and this one that I'm wearing right now, which is the shade I use the most, because I do have a tan most of the time. Like you can tell, this looks just immaculate, honestly. I'm almost out. I almost used this foundation up. There is very little left, and I'm just, more people should have loved this foundation. It's so beautiful. For concealer, I'm actually going to be using something that I recently discovered when I did a video trying out other beauty creators' favorites of the year, and this is the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Concealer. I have not heard enough people talk about this one, and this has quickly become one of my favorite concealers. I've used it now for 2 weeks, and honestly, this one is so good. I really like the medium coverage that is, it's very light in consistency. It doesn't crease, it doesn't cake. It looks natural and beautiful and really doesn't make your under eyes look cakey or creepy. And you don't need to use an excessive amount of powder to set it down, but it still doesn't crease throughout the day and just makes your under eyes, listen, I'm 39. I don't need anything that's like super heavy or like cakey under my eyes. It's gonna make me look like a dinosaur. Like, I don't want that. So I think that this one is just super flattering on an under eye that has a little bit of fine lines. straight up wrinkles, let's be honest. And I totally recommend this concealer. I think it's beautiful. And I mean, it was mentioned by some people as yearly favorite, but this has not received the hype that I think that it deserves. There are so many concealers out there that I hear people talking about their absolute holy grails and viral, blah, blah, blah. This one should have been. This formulation is perfection. I'm gonna use a powder puff and just set down my concealer and a little bit in my T-zone. This powder puff is from LH Cosmetics. I've used this for so many years, and I feel like powder puffs are starting to become a little popular now. And yeah, LH Cosmetics was on the ball years ago, and this is a beautiful powder puff that has like a little, you know, you put your finger in, and I love that it's like a triangle. This is a really beautiful one, and I really, really do enjoy it. And I'm using the CoverGirl powder. This one was recommended to me by Tati, and she's honestly super like correct about this being a great powder under the eyes. Absolutely love it. I will link that down below as well. Let me do my brows. I'm just gonna be using some brow products. I don't know if I have any suggestions about like great brow products that wasn't viral, because I feel like if anything, it would be that NYX brow pen, this one, the Lift and Snatch. I will link this down below, but mine is actually out, so I am going to be using the Nabla one instead. I need to repurchase this one. I thought I had a backup, but I didn't. Rookie mistake. This next product was actually mentioned in my yearly favorites of last year, and I will say, for all the hype that was around cream bronzers last year, I'm surprised that this wasn't more hyped. This is the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. It is called the Ultra Cream Bronzer, and I have mine in medium. I think this is a beautiful formula that is really beautiful to work with. This one is a little bit more on the neutral side, so if you don't like a cream bronzer that's too warm, this might be for you. And it's also really affordable. Like, this is an affordable cream bronzer that is not just good for the price. Look at that. Not just good for the price, actually a good product. And I think that sometimes when I see drugstore products being loved and I try them, I sometimes feel like, yeah, this is good for only being $3, or this is good for only being $7, but compared to other options, maybe even for just $10, it is just not as good. And that's not how I feel about this cream bronzer. I truly think that this is a great product. And I think I used too much on this side. Hold. So I think that that looks absolutely stunning. I think it's a beautiful product, and I also am surprised. I mean, this is a indie product, but sometimes indie products become really hyped, and I am surprised that the glowy blushes by Lethal Cosmetics, I'm gonna use the orange one today, wasn't more hyped online, because honestly, this is an amazing, look at that. This is an amazing shimmer blush formula that is better than some high-end formulas, and I really think that this formula deserved a little bit more hype than it got, because it is pigmented and glowy and just so beautiful. You can build it up, you can sheer it out, and I think that this product not only deserved a little bit more hype overall, but also in the indie community. I don't feel like this formula got the hype that it deserved even in the indie community, because this is a beautiful blush formula, and it comes in 4 different shades. There is a red and orange, a darker mauve, and a lighter cooler pink, and they're just so beautiful, and it's got this marbled effect with the shimmer in it, and it's just an awesome formula, and you can buy it at Camera Ready Cosmetics. I will link that down below in case you're living in the US, because Lethal Cosmetics is a German-based indie brand. I want to use one of the lip crayons by Haus Labs. I know a lot of things are getting hyped by Haus Labs. Haus Labs is a hype brand, but this is the product that I am using the most from the brand, and it is the lip crayons. I have it in 2 colors. This is, I think, Peach Matte, which is a nice peachy neutral. I don't think I'll be using this color today. I think I'll be using the color that I have been using the most, which is Currant Matte, which is a neutral, like a neutral red. A wearable, rusty red. This is a comfort matte, but it's not overly silicone-y. It is thin and beautiful on the lips, and it's just Such a comfortable, easy to wear, easy to apply, wears beautifully, just wonderful lip crayon. I really love it. I hope they come out with even more colors because some of them are a little wacky, and I will say that I love wacky eye colors, but I'm a little bit more timid when it comes to lip colors. I really need to get a lip liner that's like a muted red. I still have not been able to get that to work. Do you see how beautiful that was? I need a new lip liner. I need to find a muted red. I love that. Let us do highlighter. I'm actually gonna do a highlighter that's just, I feel, flew under the radar. I'm just gonna do a little professional first. This is the Benefit setting spray. Before we go in with the highlighter. So this highlighter was released pretty much at the same time as the Rare Beauty highlighter, and this is the new highlighter by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Face Architect highlighter. I have mine in Champagne Glow, which is a beautiful color for me. I am a light medium, and this is perfect for my coloring. I think that this highlighter was compared to the Rare Beauty one, and the Rare Beauty one is more metallic, but I prefer this one. I think that this one looks more believable. I do need a brush though. Hold. I'm gonna do a fluffy brush. This is my old Morphe 501. It's starting to look more and more like a broom. It is not living its best life, but it's gonna have to do. I think that this is a very believable highlighter. It looks highlighty and it looks glowy, and you can definitely build this one up, but it doesn't look as metallic and as intense on the skin straight away as the Rare Beauty does. And for that reason, I can see why people prefer the Rare Beauty one over this one. But I think that this one looks like a more believable wet look. It is not as super intense straight out of the gate. Like you can, like here, just apply a little and just get it to look glowy. Oh my god, this brush is shedding. Get it to look glowy and believable without being straight up 2016 metallic stripe. I think it is absolutely stunning, and I prefer this one over the Rare Beauty one. I think the Rare Beauty one is great, but I think this one is even better, at least on me. I think I prefer the look of this one. It's just in my, a day-to-day life. And I will have, is that Wednesday's video, I think, is me doing reviewing and ranking some of my latest purchases. I didn't do one in January because I was trying to take it a little chill in January, so I'm having one now, and there's a bunch of products that are going to be included in that video, so don't forget to check out Wednesday's video. This one is very much in the upper part of that video. I really enjoy it, and I realize that it is an expensive highlighter, but I think it looks expensive as well on the skin. I really enjoy it. I want to say sorry, not sorry. I mean, of course, I sometimes wish that I would really dislike expensive things, but I think that one is great. Now we're going to talk about this. Okay, where are we starting? BH Cosmetics. I love BH Cosmetics quality. I think they really did something around 2020. They really did something, and they came back with a vengeance, or maybe it was 2019, and they released a couple of things, and I mentioned BH Cosmetics as my favorite palette in, I think, 2020, and also my favorite palette in 2021, and they released this collection that was called the Say It collection. But this aesthetic wasn't pleasing. The packaging wasn't pleasing. They have words on the packaging that people weren't all about, and me neither. I think they really should have done something else for this this whole collection, because the quality of these shadows, this is the warm toned yellowy orange red, the quality of these are the best quality that BH Cosmetics has ever done. I feel like this is the same quality as it is in the Passion in Paris, which is a palette that I love. All of these palettes, amazing quality. They are if you didn't have this packaging and someone told you that this was expensive high-end eyeshadows, you would believe them. If someone told me this is a $45 palette, I'd be like, that seems about right. These disappeared because BH Cosmetics went into Chapter 11 bankruptcy and then they got bought out. But these are back in stock now. I will leave them down below because you can find these now. And I'm super excited. I'm going to be using this one today because I really wanted to do like a warm yellowy red moment. But these are so good. I do have a video about these. I will link that video down below if you want to see. Let me use a primer. If you want to see how these all swatch and all behave. Because the collection... the quality is amazing, and this is what I'm hoping that BH Cosmetics will come back with, because I really like this collection, and I do think that the main reason why it wasn't more hyped, because honestly, palettes with less quality than this have been more hyped than this for 3 times the price, because these are affordable palettes, is because of the packaging and because of them having words on the front that weren't maybe the best for all aspects of the beauty community. And like, they were having cuss words. I mean, I guess they were trying to be edgy, but honestly, they just came off as that Steve Buscemi meme. Like, hello, fellow kids. Like, that's the energy that this collection was giving, which is a shame because the collection is so good. And I'm really hoping that they're able to produce more palettes with the same kind of energy, but different packaging. Not the same palettes, of course, but like, ugh. That would be my dream. That is what I want them to do. So I'm just gonna be blending. I think I'm gonna start here and then just do a bunch of these. Maybe I'll do this one, and this one actually, because it's a really dark. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just gonna be using a bunch of these mattes, but just know that I'm not using any other palette but this one. And it is just such a beautiful palette. And these colors really do build and just pack a punch, and I'm using them on top of a non-set primer, which is honestly my best tip if you want to have super bright eye looks, and if you're wondering why your eyeshadows are not looking maybe as saturated or as colorful as in some like tutorials or pictures that you're seeing, it's probably because you're setting your primer, or maybe because you are using a too flimsy brush. Those would be my 2 main reasons, or maybe because you're doing this instead of first packing on the color and then blending the edges. Those are the main reasons why I would say that maybe your eyeshadow is not looking as bright, because that is what I see people doing sometimes that complain about pigmentation, is that they will do a super fluffy brush on a set primer and they will just swipe back and forth. It's not going to give this result regardless of the quality of the eyeshadows. But look at that yellow. So gorgeous. The return of the squeaky chair. I'm gonna use the orange half full now, and I'm not gonna pack this one on as much as I did the yellow. I'm just doing a light layer in the crease, a little bit lower than the yellow, to get that gradient effect before we go in with the red. So I'm just doing a little bit and just swiping it on, but you can tell it's pretty pigmented, but keeping it a little lower just so we can still see the yellow peeking through. Something like that. And then I will be doing a smaller brush, and I'll do the red. Good Vibes Only. This is not the darkest red, it's the red that's here. This one, I'll do this one, and then we'll try and deepen it up with that one afterwards, but I think I'm gonna use all the colors. Look at that red. Look at that red matte. Oh, it's so pretty. Some people say like, oh, I'm so annoyed with like beauty YouTubers being overly excited about makeup and doing the, people call it the surprise Pikachu face. But honestly, makeup is my passion. I love makeup. There's a reason why my channel on YouTube is about makeup and not something else. There are a couple of areas in my life where I get extremely excited. And makeup makes me excited. When I open a new palette and it looks beautiful, I gasp. That's passion. I like this. And I think sometimes people don't understand that just because you are not maybe this passionate about something, it doesn't mean that others can't be. And I get so excited about new makeup and just applying new makeup, and when it just goes on pigmented and beautiful like this, And I think that people forget that your experience is not everyone's experience. Another area where I get super excited is of course gaming. The way I've screamed sometimes at some of the, like when we have taken bosses that we have been trying to take for such a long time, like literally screamed. Or the way that I've giggled when my favorite author is coming out with the next book in a series that I'm loving to read. Like, we all have like areas where we get super, super excited. And I will say, if there is no area of your life where you get super excited when something about anything, maybe like try and discover what that could be. We all need a hobby that we're like super excited about. At least that's what I think. And if you don't agree, that's perfectly fine, but don't hate me in the comments, please and thank you. So I did some under my eyes as well, and now I'm gonna be using the Silver Lining, which is that dark red. And I'm just gonna be adding a little bit of that out here because I know from past experience that this definitely is deep enough and pigment enough for me to be an outer corner, like deepening shade. I think that that looks absolutely stunning. And then we can do some shimmers, because I usually do some shimmers in looks, but I really do love an all matte look. And honestly, this with a yellow on the lid would be beautiful, but I want to show you how beautiful the metallics are too. Also, can we note that this is the 4th matte that I'm layering on? Most brands could never. So I'm gonna do both this orangey one, and this one looks white, but it actually is one of those like white with a gold sheen. So it's like a duochrome topper. So this orangey one, it's called LOL. And I love an orange. I love orange. I love all kinds of eyeshadow, but I love orange, and I love an orange metallic. And look at that. I spray all my shimmers to prevent too much fallout. I still got some because this is why I spray, because I always put on too much shimmer on my brush. So this is the white gold like duochrome topper shade. It's called Happy Camper, and we're doing that on the inner corner and just blending it into the lid as well to get a little ombre effect going. Such a pretty shade. I'm gonna do it a little bit layer on top here on the lower lash line because it is a topper shade. It will just transform a little bit. And that is the eye look. It's that not incredibly stunning? I love this palette. I think it is so pretty, and this whole series was just, it just flew under the radar, and I just think the marketing for all of it was just bad. And honestly, BH Cosmetics didn't send out any PR either, so the people that needed to discover it and promote it, I guess, didn't, because they were busy playing with the other makeup they got in PR. But yeah, that whole collection, it is available again, and it is stunning. So here we are at the finish line, and I think that everything looks incredible. I mean, this is a full face of favorite makeup. It just happens to be favorite makeup that I feel like more people should talk about. Just people sleep sometimes on really good makeup, and that's the whole thing about going viral or about something being hyped up, about just, you know, the marketing of makeup. It's not always the best makeup that sells the most. And it's also, I mean, a matter of preference. I just recently did a video about like why some people might like some products or why some people might hate the same product. But I really do think that this is high quality makeup that definitely deserved to get a little bit more hype than they did. Don't forget to check out the description box for more info about these products, and also of course to find Cheek Geek. Thank you so much for collabing with me, and thank you so much for giving me this video idea, because I really loved going through my collection and finding some stuff that I would like to talk more about. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you again. Well, I think I'm gonna see you again on Wednesday for my rankings video. It's gonna be quite a bunch of products, so don't forget to check that one out as well. Bye!